Right, yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, and welcome back to another stream here on the channel. It's Football Fan 148 here. Hang on, sorry about that. Just grabbing the tissue here. Hang on. Yeah, sorry, just having a bit of a runny nose there. But anyway, yeah, hello, welcome back to another stream here on the channel. Of course, it is Football Fan 148 here. Of course, for those on YouTube and for those on TikTok, of course, it is WWE. It is WWE Kingdom 120 back again with another stream for you. And today, ladies and gentlemen, of course, indeed, I am live, of course, for indeed, of course, the game in the Premier League. Of course, indeed, it is Chelsea versus Bournemouth. So yeah, I'm live indeed for that. So yeah, indeed, of course, I am live, of course, for that. So indeed, I'm live for this game today. Of course, Chelsea indeed look to move back into the top four. Of course, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea looked to attempt to move back into the top four. Of course, with a win here today. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Chelsea indeed currently, indeed at the moment, of course, they're outside the top four. Of course, heading into the game today. Today, of course, indeed, Liverpool currently fourth in the Premier League right now. So indeed, if Chelsea win tonight, of course, they will move, of course, they will move back up to fourth place in the table. Hang on there, guys. Indeed, this headphone's just a bit weird. Hang on. That's better. Yeah, it feels a little bit better because indeed probably had it a bit weird. Indeed, in the way of that. So yeah. But anyway, I just got some stats for you just before indeed, because we really start in the way of this game, ladies and gentlemen. Just some stats for you. And of course, the stats is that Chelsea indeed have lost three. Is that Chelsea having lost three of their first five Premier League home games against Bournemouth. Indeed, Chelsea are now unbeaten in their last three against the Cherries at Stamford Bridge. And also Bournemouth, indeed, they're winless in their last 8 Premier League games against Chelsea, drawing 4 and losing 4. Now, this is just the second time Chelsea have faced an opponent twice in the same month in the Premier League, previously having drawn twice with Man United, of course, in December of 1998. And it's also the first time that Bournemouth are facing an opponent twice in the same month in the Premier League. Now, the last time they did so in any division was, of course, way back in April 2011, when, of course, they lost away and won at home against Bristol Rovers. Now, of course, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, here's stat for you. Because Chelsea indeed have not lost their last league game in consecutive calendar years since 1990/1991, both times against Luton Town that year. So, yeah. Of course, indeed, there. Interesting stuff, really, for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, indeed, if I hadn't given you the team news, of course, for this one, by the way, the team news for this, of course, indeed, for Bournemouth, of course, for them, is Petrovic in goal. The back four of Jimenez, Hill, Senesi, and Truffert, with Tavernier and Scott, the two playing behind Brooks, and Semenyo in the midfield. Of course, Semenyo, indeed, he's been linked with indeed, with various clubs just ahead of the January transfer window, which opens in the next couple of days. Of course, there with Evan Nilsson up front. And on the bench for Bournemouth is Adley, Rougeau, Dennis, Diakite, Kruby, Rees Dottin, Smith, Soler, and Unal. Of course, that's the team for Bournemouth. And as for Chelsea, of course, for them, of course, indeed, for Chelsea, it's Sanchez in goal. The both four of Achimpong, Fofana, Chalobah, and Gusto, with Caicedo and Fernandez, the two playing behind Esteval, Palmer, and Garnacho in the midfield, with Liam Delap up front. And on the bench for Chelsea is Adara. Of course, on the subs bench for Chelsea, we have Adara, Bayayu, Boyanate, Gittins, James, João Pedro, Jorgensen, Neto, Santos, and Badiashile. Of course, the referee for this game is Samuel Barrett. His assistants, of course, is Timothy Wood and Ray Smith, with the fourth official being James Linnington. And, of course, the on VAR duty, of course, is Craig Pawson. Yeah. James Lovegrove, 1871. Thank you very much for sharing the live. Josh Lovegrove, 1871 says, you're a Chelsea fan. Yeah, of course I am a Chelsea fan because, of course, indeed, my family, I've got family members who support Chelsea. So, yeah, it's one thing or another, really. So, yeah. Yeah. Also, of course, Moises Caicedo, indeed, he picked up a yellow card. Oh, hang on a minute. Come Bournemouth. Evan Nilsson here has the shot and is blocked. And it's out for a Bournemouth throw. But as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Moises Caicedo, indeed, he has picked up an early yellow card, by the way. Or has he? Well, apparently not. According to Sky Sports, he hasn't. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good grief. And Bournemouth have just scored, actually. Indeed, Bournemouth lead by a 1-0. And Bournemouth indeed ahead inside 6 minutes. I don't know what on earth Robert Sanchez was doing there, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't. I need to have a look at this for myself, indeed. Of course, it's a throw-in into the area. Flicked on there. Of course, Sanchez. Yeah, there is a bit of questionable goalkeeping from Sanchez. And it's not the first time this season, indeed, where we've said that. Of course, Sanchez, indeed, he saves the first effort, and then it comes really back off Brooks. And Sanchez, he's like really scrambling to keep it out. Yeah, he's really scrambling to keep it out. Tries to claw it away, but indeed Brooks gets there, indeed, to stab the ball home. And Bournemouth, indeed, inside 6 minutes, have the lead. But indeed, the question is, does VAR agree? Because, of course, indeed, there is a VAR check going on for a possible handball. They're saying a possible handball here. I think it might. I think it might have, actually. I'm not really sure. Hang on, I'm just looking at this again. Okay, it's off. Oh, I think it does. I think it does. I think, indeed, as the ball, indeed, of Sanchez, indeed, the ball comes as his initial first save, indeed, then, so indeed, of course, VAR check is concluded, and of course, indeed, VAR, of course, they have given the goals for Bournemouth ahead. Initially, I thought, indeed, that was actually a handball there, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest. I thought that was a handball. I really did. I mean, indeed, the ball comes back. Indeed, off Sanchez, and then it looks like it does hit the arm of Brooks. Yeah. So there we go. Oh. Yeah, 2 wins and 8. That is not good form. Really, it's not. For Chelsea, of course, coming into this, indeed. Of course, coming into this, ladies and gentlemen, of course, indeed, Chelsea, of course, indeed, the last game they had, of course, was against Aston Villa here, of course, at the weekend. Indeed, that 2-1 defeat, of course, against Aston Villa. And, of course, before that, indeed, we had, of course, the game against Bournemouth as well. No, not the game against Bournemouth. I mean, the game against Newcastle. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, indeed. Of course, that game finishing 2-2. So, yeah, interesting stuff, really. Oh, that's a nice nick. It's a nice nick there. Here's Fernandez now. Plays the ball back to Caicedo. Indeed, who I actually thought was on a yellow card. But according to Google and to BBC Sport, he hasn't. And here's Esteban. And indeed, he goes down. Chelsea, of course, appeal for a penalty. But indeed, of course, the referee not, of course. Yeah, of course, the referee indeed was not indeed in favour of it. Of course, the ball down there again. Oh, this is the one thing I hate about. Oh, hang on. Esteban talking to the linesman. Let's just have a look at this. Indeed, there's a run there. There is contact, indeed, on Semenyo. He grabs the arm. Oh, there is a push. There is a push on the arm of Semenyo here. Semenyo, indeed, clearly grabs the arm of Esteval. And I don't know what the referee stopped the game for here. Indeed, he's talking indeed to Enzo Fernandez, who is the captain. Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. Indeed, VAR are looking at it. They are having a look at it. And indeed, of course, the referee now going over to the monitor. Indeed, this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Could Chelsea possibly have a penalty shout here? I mean, indeed, there is. I mean, I've looked at it myself, and there is a clear, and there's like a clear and obvious. Indeed, I mean, Semenyo, he grabs the arm of Esteval, and then he just like pushes him right to the floor. I'm not sure if VAR will, of course, deem if that's enough or not. Indeed, this is a real 50-50 shout here, of course. Indeed, you don't know with VAR whether they'll give it or not. But indeed, I'm not sure if Chelsea have a case, but I think they might do. Yeah. I mean, really, of course, there's no contact with the ball. Esteval clearly grabs it on the arm. There's a push. And it also looks like there's a trip as well. But hang on a minute. VAR. Hang on, we got the decision now. Oh, so Chelsea have got a penalty. So Chelsea have a penalty here. Semenyo indeed with the foul. And Chelsea, of course, indeed have a chance to level the game here. And of course, the referee indeed having a word with the Bournemouth captain, David Brooks. I mean, it's a clear and obvious foul. I mean, I saw it myself. I mean, indeed, he doesn't get the ball, Semenyo. He does not get the ball whatsoever. And I mean, there's a clear push. Indeed, I mean, Semenyo, he grabs the arm here, grabs it, and then he just pushes him to the floor. So here we go. Of course, Cole Palmer, indeed, of course, has the chance to draw Chelsea level. He's only missed one spot kick, of course, for Chelsea. As Cole Palmer. But can he indeed bring Chelsea level here? Here we go. Cole Palmer versus the former Chelsea goalkeeper, Petrovic. Here we go. It's Cole Palmer, and it's in the bottom corner. Petrovic went the right way, but Cole Palmer, of course, sends the ball into the back of the Bournemouth net. And Chelsea, indeed, a back level. It's Chelsea 1, Bournemouth 1. A lovely penalty from Cole Palmer. Of course, the man you can rely on for spot kicks. It's a lovely penalty. He sends it right into the corner. And indeed, Chelsea are back level. Of course, Petrovic, he goes the right way. But of course, indeed, Palmer, he just puts it beyond the reach of the former Chelsea goalkeeper Petrovic. And Chelsea, indeed, of course, the back level. It's Chelsea 1, Bournemouth 1. Okay, Caicedo is on the yellow. So why on earth have BBC Sport not said that? I don't know why on earth BBC Sport have really not said, indeed, about the whole yellow card thing. Is he on a yellow card or not? Because he is. Blimey, it is really, really questionable. It's like, yeah. Yeah, please don't remind us about the red cards, thank you. But enough about red cards to last us a lifetime. Here we go. Of course, David Brooks plays the ball in the box. And Sanchez indeed with an easy save there. Okay, ball rolled out now. Now here's Garnacho. I mean, this game, ladies and gentlemen, is already much better indeed than the previous game between these two, which of course ended up in a goalless draw. So indeed, of course, this game already much, much better indeed than that game, of course, at the Vitality Stadium. At the Vitality Stadium, of course, right at the start of the month. And Palmer indeed getting fouled there, of course. Indeed, Chelsea will have the free kick. Yeah, that's crazy. And of course, Bournemouth have conceded the most goals indeed since November the 1st. Bournemouth conceding 23. Then Wolves just behind them indeed with 20. Wolves really haven't had the greatest seasons. But here comes Bournemouth again. Oh, that's a great save. That's a good save from Sanchez. Indeed, of course, it was a neat little bit of play from Bournemouth. But Sanchez, indeed, with a lovely save to deny Bournemouth a second goal in this game. And indeed, of course, Bournemouth indeed coming so close. Indeed, it's a bit of sloppy play in the back from Chelsea. And then Evan Nielsen, he plays a neat little ball into Brooks. He plays a neat little ball into him. Takes a good first touch, this Brooks. But of course, Sanchez indeed with a lovely save to deny Brooks and Bournemouth a second goal in this game. So, yeah, indeed, lovely save that from Sanchez. Of course, to deny Bournemouth a second goal in this game. And, of course, deny them the lead as well. Well, it was defo a pen, ladies and gentlemen. There was no doubt about it. I mean, if VAR hadn't given that penalty, I would have been fuming. It's a very tame shot. I mean, this was basically, indeed, we're just looking at the shot. Indeed, of course, we're just having a look at that Evan Nielsen shot, indeed, just before VAR decided to give Chelsea a penalty. It was a tame shot, really, from Evan Nielsen beforehand. So, yeah. Nice play, and here's Palmer. Indeed, plays a nicely timed ball into Delap. Plays it in, Garnacho. Indeed, the ball's still in there. Indeed, it's cleared away by Bournemouth. But Chelsea, indeed, of course, creating problems for Bournemouth at the back. And indeed, of course, it was Cole Palmer, indeed, who plays a lovely, well-timed pass into Liam Delap. And Delap, indeed, tries to get the ball in the penalty area. Of course, indeed, the Bournemouth defender, indeed, gets there before Garnacho does. But Garnacho, of course, he then got back there, of course, for the second time of asking. But unfortunately, indeed, couldn't do much about it. Couldn't do much, indeed, there. Oh, Liam Delap wins the ball back. And now here's Garnacho. Oh, indeed, it was a great second touch. Indeed, he tries to take the ball around here, but Chelsea indeed win it back, and now Bournemouth have nicked it back. But indeed, this game, ladies and gentlemen, is such an open game so far. I mean, indeed, you could say, Bournemouth, indeed, when they have a moment, of course, then Chelsea do at the other end, of course, really. Yeah, indeed, Bournemouth, of course, when they have a moment, indeed, to create a real chance for themselves to retake the lead, of course, then Chelsea go at the other end and really create some more problems for Bournemouth. So, yeah, indeed, this is a real open contest, of course, so far. And we're only 21 and a half minutes into this contest. Yeah, hang on a minute, Esteval, indeed, making away there. But indeed, of course, the tackle there. And now Semenyo, indeed, who gave away that penalty earlier on. And Achampong, indeed, wins the ball back for Chelsea. Fofana. Now, of course, to the goal scorer, Palmer, indeed, from that penalty. On new play, here's Caicedo. He did not going to allow him a shot outside the area, but it's Garnacho, and here's Fernandez. Oh yes! A fabulous hit from Enzo Fernandez, and Chelsea indeed take the lead. It's a lovely, well-timed pass into Fernandez, and he smashes the ball home to give Chelsea the lead. It's Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1. A beautiful hit from Enzo Fernandez. Yeah, it's indeed well timed for Chelsea. Caicedo plays it into Fernandez and then plays it into Garnacho, and it's a well timed pass from Garnacho. And then Fernandez, indeed, he then, of course, has a lot more to do after receiving the pass from Garnacho. Indeed, he takes the first touch to take the ball away from the Bournemouth defender, and then the finish. Oh, what a wonderful finish that is from Enzo Fernandez to give Chelsea the lead. It's Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 1. What a wonderful goal from Enzo Fernandez. Beautiful, beautiful goal after a lovely, well-timed pass from Alejandro Garnacho. Yeah. So the away game, and they've conceded like 29 goals away from home with Bournemouth. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is. That's absolutely ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Well, of course, ladies and gentlemen, of course, indeed, we've got 3 other games indeed taking place, of course, right now. Indeed, Bournemouth. Indeed, no, I didn't mean Bournemouth. I meant Newcastle United. Of course, they're 2-1 up away at Burnley. Of course, indeed, 2 early goals from Joel Linton and Wissa. Indeed, of course, give Newcastle a 2-goal lead after 8 minutes. But then Josh Laurent, indeed, getting the goal back for Burnley. Of course, Josh Laurent, indeed, a former Reading player. Of course, he was, of course. So, indeed, Newcastle got 2-1 lead there. Everton, of course, they're 1-0 up, of course, away at Nottingham Forest. And, of course, West Ham United, they're 1-0 up at home to Brighton. So, indeed, very, very interesting games, of course, in the Premier League. Of course, right, in the Premier League right now. And, of course, Bournemouth, indeed, have a corner right now, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Bournemouth have a chance to swing a ball into the air, put a ball in the area. Indeed, they take it short, and the shot's blocked. Oh, and indeed, the following shot, indeed, well wide of the target. Well wide of the target. Indeed, the first shot from Brooks, well saved, and then the other shot, indeed, going over the bar from James Tavernier. From James Tavernier. Well, in the area. Oh, no! It's 2-2! And Bournemouth have the lead again. No, Bournemouth indeed are back level. Sorry. Indeed, I've confused my own words there. But indeed, of course, it's 2-2. But indeed, Sanchez, he didn't look like he was pleased about something. That's twice now, Chelsea, indeed, of course, conceding from a set piece. Of course, it was a flick on. I think Chelsea, indeed, try and get the ball away. Chelsea, they try and get the ball away, but indeed, of course, it just falls well into place for Justin Kluivert, indeed, to knock the ball home. And indeed, of course, Chelsea, indeed, losing their lead. It's now Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2. And I don't know what on earth Chelsea were trying to do, indeed, with that flick on from the throw. I think Chelsea were trying to get rid of it. But indeed, of course, it ended up well and truly falling into place for Justin Kluivert to make it 2-2. But it'll be a ball in, and it's indeed goes out for a Chelsea corner. Esteban didn't need the ball in. Indeed, the ball was head behind. Indeed, Chelsea were trying to take it quick, but the referee indeed playing a bit of a nightmare. Yeah. Of course, Chelsea, indeed, they've scored 11 goals from set pieces already this season. Of course, Bournemouth indeed have conceded. Indeed, they conceded the most. Indeed, of course, from set pieces. Ball in all! And then whack the post! To that corner. Indeed, of course, the corner kick ended up hitting the post. Yeah. Yeah, indeed, now Chelsea with a free kick here. Okay. Yeah. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, of course, indeed, as soon as this game ends, by the way, indeed, I will, of course, be going over to indeed watch the game, of course, at I'll be watching indeed the game, of course, is going to be played, of course, one of the 8:15 games, which will be, of course, Arsenal versus Aston Villa. I mean, that one should be an absolute cracker. Indeed, that really should be. I mean, that game indeed being an 8:15 kickoff. And this game indeed should be finished by 9:15. So indeed I'm not going to end the stream right there. Indeed, I'm not going to end the stream, of course, right after the Chelsea game's finished. Indeed, I might just also watch, indeed, some of the Arsenal versus the Aston Villa as well. Oh, that's a lovely ball out to Gusto, and now he's Garnacho. What can he do? Or plays it back to Garnacho. Oh, yeah, I meant Gusto. And he has a shot. I don't know what it is with me. I seem to be getting a lot of confusion indeed tonight with some of the players tonight. I don't know why. Yeah, Blue Force Lucas Aids. Oh, they're absolutely brilliant. Oh, come on. This is going to be ridiculous. This is bloody stupid, this is. Oh. Happens every single time. Yeah. That's about now. Yosh Boy 26 SEO, what's up? Not too much, mate. Indeed, just watching the Chelsea Bournemouth. But any time, ladies and gentlemen, I seem to be doing a football thing live on TikTok. I seem to always get it taken down. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I really don't. Yeah. Yeah. Oh! And Bournemouth almost taking the lead again there, ladies and gentlemen, actually. Yeah, Bournemouth indeed have come close indeed a couple of times to retaking the lead here. Here come Bournemouth again. Ball played in on a shot well over the bar. Yeah, indeed, of course, let's just have a look at this Bournemouth chance again. Indeed, because the ball played in, and I'm not sure. Does Sanchez get a touch there? I think he might do. Let's have a look. Okay, ball goes in, and he does actually. Sanchez gets a touch on it to really palm it away. Roma plays it back. Oh, he gets fouled, does Palmer, by Alex Scott. Indeed, of course, who was indeed in the team, of course, that Thomas Tuchel selected, of course, for the World Cup qualifiers against Serbia and against I think it was Albania. Now it's Cole Palmer again. Cole Palmer. Just so. To Enzo Fernandez, who ball whipped in. And into Estevao, and it's headed wide. So the ball ended up heading wide there. Yeah. 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 On there, and now here we go. Ball's won back by Palmer into Estevao. Palmer now. Up the pass from Estevao. Tries to put the cross in, but indeed it's just too high for Liam Delap to go on the end of. Bournemouth gave the ball away to Estevao, but then Palmer, indeed, he tries to whip it in there, but indeed, Jimenez, of course, just getting back in there to prevent Delap going up for it. Free kick it. Hang on. Hang on a minute. It looks like there is a bit of concern indeed for Bournemouth. It looks like James Hill is indeed struggling here just a bit. Does look like struggling just a bit. Let's have a look here. Yeah, Delap indeed catches Hill there indeed after the ball's gone. But indeed, of course, Hill just felt a little bit of discomfort. There was a bit of clumsiness from Delap. Yeah, Ipswich really didn't have that good period there. I think Ipswich indeed, of course, really struggled. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Ipswich indeed are like only 2 points off Middlesbrough, of course, at the top, towards the top of the championship right now. Of course, I checked the championship table last night, actually, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, indeed, it looks like Hull and Ipswich, indeed, those two are really on Middlesbrough's tail, really, of course, in the way of the race for the second automatic promotion spot in the championship. And indeed, that will be interesting to see where that, of course, where that race ends up going, transforming into, of course, come the new year. Of course, that race indeed is transforming into something. I mean, Hull City and Ipswich, indeed, of course, in fourth and third in the championship table right now. Indeed, those two, of course, really are only a couple of points off Middlesbrough, of course, at towards the top of the championship table right now. So, yeah, indeed, it's interesting to really see exactly where, indeed, that race will, of course, end up, indeed, come early May. I mean, we've still got a long way of the season left to go, but here's the lap now. Of course, plays to Esteval. What can he do? Esteval now. And then plays it into Gusto. Indeed, has a bit of an awkward shot, I would have to say. Semenyo. Yeah, it was basically a race of Semenyo versus Brooks. No, not Semenyo versus Brooks. I meant Brooks versus Fofana, and Fofana won that. Now it's the lap to Garnacho. And indeed, Garnacho ends up losing the ball. And now here come Bournemouth. Indeed, played in Evan Nielsen. Indeed, we got a few minutes to go till the break. Oh, that was a bit of a wild challenge for Machampong. I think the referee indeed will come back for that one. It was a bit of a wild challenge, I have to admit. I mean, really, it was a wild challenge. But indeed, that's a cross. And indeed, it got well wide out of play there. Oh, he was late, all right. I mean, he was late. I mean, that was a real late tackle, indeed, from Evan Nielsen. Really was a late one, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh, interesting play, but indeed, play just getting held up a little bit. Bournemouth is Tavernier, and now played into Brooks. Indeed, kicks the ball in there. Oh, that was a little bit of a mess up. Indeed, there. I need to have a look on the replay to see what on earth happened, but it was a right scramble in the penalty area. A bit of a mess up, really. So, yeah, I don't know what on earth in the first half, but indeed, of course, true fair, did win a free kick. Well, let's have a look at this incident again here. Let's have a look at it again. All right, so D. Brooks gets the ball, and indeed, of course, Gusto, he tries to clear it, and then, hang on, here we go. So Brooks indeed whips it in. Semenyo there gets a touch, and then Sanchez, indeed, he gets a touch on it as well, and then Chelsea indeed get the ball away. And that's one. Of course, Bournemouth's first half shots, indeed, of course, tonight's game is, of course, the joint most indeed they've had in a Premier League game. And this is indeed not just this season, indeed, like during the whole of their Premier League venture. Of course, the Bournemouth ball in there, but an easy catch there for Sanchez. Oh, and he gets the ball out quickly to Esteval. And what can Esteval do here? Esteval brings the ball there. And now it's Palmer, plays it back to Esteval. What can Esteval do? To Fernandez, trying to chip the ball back in Esteval. Indeed, the ball's still there. Of course, now it's Garnacho. Fernandez indeed whips the ball in towards Esteval, but indeed the ball's still with Chelsea here. Gusto. Caicedo. Of course, indeed, the game's still going on, but indeed, of course, David Brooks is actually down for Bournemouth. And now he's back up. Back up, so looks like Brooks indeed will be able to continue. He's back up, and now here comes Chelsea again. Enzo Fernandez. Here's Garnacho to Achimpong. Don't know what on earth Chelsea are trying to do here. Garnacho, indeed here. Hang on, Achimpong trying to cross it, but now it's Fofana. To Gusto. Play now to Esteval, indeed, who plays it into Palmer. What can indeed, of course, Chelsea's number 10 do here? And to hold that ball off, and of course, there's indeed the board's gone up, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, we've got a total of 7 minutes. Indeed, 7 minutes stoppage time at the end of this highly entertaining first half. I mean, seriously, this first half, I mean, what a crazy game of football this has been. But indeed, of course, Brooks is down here. Indeed, he'll get a bit of treatment. I mean, what a first half for David Brooks and Bournemouth have had. I mean, it's been a crazy first half. Really, it has. Of course, Esteval. Indeed, he took the ball away from Brooks. There's some damage to the left arm, it looks like. And of course, indeed, this means, of course, we'll get a bit more in the way of stoppage time. But indeed, you really have to give credit to Bournemouth. I mean, the way indeed they've been during this first half, I mean, really, you have to give credit. They have been much the better side in this game. But indeed, you have to say also, Chelsea at times have been the better side as well. I mean, indeed, it's been a highly entertaining game. I mean, really, I mean, this is exactly why, indeed, the Premier League is what is indeed one of the best leagues, indeed, in the world right now. I mean, really, I mean, indeed, you get games like this. You get games like this, and indeed, you really don't know why on earth where it's going to go. I mean, really, you don't. I mean, this is exactly why you love football. I mean, yeah, it can be a little bit frustrating at times, but still, at least, indeed, you really have highly entertaining football matches like this. And now here we go, because Esteval again. What can he do? Okay, not much. This Caicedo, no, he shouldn't go outside the box, especially after the goals he's scored. Indeed, outside the penalty area. Of course, I still remember that epic one he scored against Liverpool, of course, a couple of months back. I think it was October. I think it was either October or somewhere else. Yeah, oh, Fernandez, indeed, he was trying to get the ball out to Garnacho, but indeed the ball's been nicked off. And indeed, oh, that's a beautiful tackle from Malo Gusto. Indeed, he could see the ball was gone. And indeed, of course, he could see the Bournemouth player. It was a 50-50 tackle, but Gusto, indeed, he well and truly got there. He got there in the nick of time. Well, they're in the nick of time, and also, of course, managed to keep the ball away from the ball. So, indeed, incredible work, of course, from Malo Gusto there. Yeah, Delap has had a bit of a mixed first half. I mean, he's had moments, but he hasn't had any real big chances in this first half. So maybe indeed he'll get a big moment, of course, in the second half. Who knows? Palmer there. Was there, and Chelsea win the throw. He foul there. Chelsea win the throw, but indeed, because of a bit of an injury there. Yeah, let's just have a look here. I mean, it's a bit of a fit. Hang on a minute, I don't know. Yeah, I think indeed he's entitled to get the arm across. I mean, he's trying indeed to win the ball there. I mean, yes, indeed, there's a bit of an elbow, but indeed, I don't think indeed it's enough to entitle VAR get involved. I really don't. Oh my God, what on earth was that for a throw? But I don't know what on earth that was for a throw from Semenyo, but indeed, that's to be one of the most weirdest throws I've seen this season. Yeah, it was a weird throw, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I mean, you have to say that. It was a very, very weird throw in. So, yeah. But speaking of Semenyo, indeed, was there. And Trufair, indeed, of course, the ball up. And now, indeed, it's with Alex Scott. The ball passed in. Oh, hang on here. Bournemouth, indeed, still have the ball alive here. Indeed, of course, Chelsea indeed thought the ball was going to go out of play, but now it's Cliver. Indeed, the ball whipped in. An easy catch there for Sanchez. Yeah, so indeed, of course, it looks like this first half indeed is going to end at 2 apiece. Yeah. Now it's Delap. Well, there's a bit of a poor touch there from Delap. There's a bit of a poor touch there. But now, of course, can Chelsea create one final chance? Of course, we're going to get a bit more in the way of stoppage time, of course, after indeed, Brooks going down there, of course, in the area. Of course, now as Palmer plays the ball to Esteval. Can Chelsea create something here? Esteval, indeed, having a shot that's blocked, and indeed, of course, the ball ended up in the palms of Petrovic. Palmer there. Now is Esteval again. Ball ball indeed now played upfield, but indeed, of course, there's no one there, so I don't know what on earth Semenyo was trying to do. But there goes the half-time whistle, ladies and gentlemen. And indeed, of course, it brings an end to a highly fascinating first half. I mean, seriously, what a first half it's been. I mean, it's been absolutely incredible. I mean, you really don't know really where to put yourself. I mean, indeed, you really don't know. Of course, you really don't know where to put yourself. You don't know where to say. I mean, you don't know whether to say it was Chelsea being the better team in the first half or whether it was Bournemouth. Indeed, of course, there were points where both teams were better indeed in the first half, really. So, yeah. Yeah, indeed, really. Of course, indeed, it was a bit of a 50-50 in that first half. I mean, there were points where Chelsea were indeed clearly on top for certain points. Then, of course, you could say the same for Bournemouth. Indeed, it was a real 50-50 game. It's been a real 50-50 game. And, of course, the goals that were scored, I mean, yeah, of course, Bournemouth, they got a bit lucky with the first one. Indeed, there was a bit of a scramble there. And, of course, then Harry Brooks indeed managing to stab the ball home. And then, of course, Chelsea, they equalised. Of course, when Esteval, of course, was fouled by Semenyo in the area. Of course, VAR, they, of course, then had a look. And, of course, they decided, indeed, that it was enough to warrant a Chelsea spot kick. Warrant, of course, a Chelsea spot kick. So, yeah, of course, that was enough indeed for, of course, Chelsea to get that spot kick. For Chelsea to get that spot kick. And then, of course, Chelsea took the lead, indeed, I think it was 8 minutes later, indeed, with that lovely, lovely shot from Fernandes. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was after, indeed, a lovely, well-timed pass from Garnacho. I mean, Fernandes, indeed, of course, his first touch really takes the ball away from the Bournemouth defender before smashing it into the back of the net. Indeed, for 2-0. I meant for 2-1. But then, of course, Bournemouth, they got back in the game. Of course, indeed, a bit of luck, indeed, at the back again. Really. Yeah, of course. Really. Both getting a bit lucky. And then, of course, the ball was indeed, of course, stabbed home, indeed, by... the ball, of course, ended up being, of course, stabbed home, of course, into the Chelsea net, of course, by Justin Kluivert to make it 2-2. But indeed, both sides have indeed, of course, really come close to, make it, to indeed taking the lead. Of course, to making it 3-2 towards the end of the first half. But indeed, it's been a really great game to watch. It really has been a very entertaining first half of football. So indeed, whether the second half will be like that, we really don't know. But indeed, of course, it was a highly entertaining first half. It really has been a very entertaining first half of football. And I can't wait to see what the second half's going to bring. I really can't wait to see what indeed the second half is indeed going to bring. But indeed, half time here at Stamford Bridge. Of course, it is Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2. Yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, of course, indeed, I am going to take a quick break, of course, before the second half gets underway. So, yeah, I hope so. Yeah, of course, indeed, I'm going to play you just a little bit of music. Indeed, a little bit of music to get you through half time. Of course, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, of course, indeed, please go get yourselves, of course, something to drink or something to eat, of course, and indeed, guys, I will see you all in around about 10-15 minutes, of course, for the second half of this highly entertaining Premier League fixture between Chelsea and Bournemouth. I'll see you guys in a bit. Yeah, guys, of course, the teams are now starting to come back out indeed for the second half. Yes. Yes. So, yeah, teams both teams coming back out indeed for the start of the second half. And it looks like Chelsea are preparing a change. It looks like Reece James is going to be coming on. And it also looks like Pedro Neto is going to be coming on as well. So, a couple of changes, it looks like, for Chelsea. Yeah. Yeah, so indeed, of course, the changes are Reece James coming on for Achimpong, and I don't know indeed who of course Pedro Neto indeed was coming on for. Let me just have a look at that. Let's just have a look, see indeed who Neto was coming on for. It might have been. Oh, it's for Garnacho. Right, so it's for Garnacho. So, of course, Garnacho and Achimpong off, and Neto and Reece James on for Chelsea. So, indeed, double change there, of course, for Chelsea at half time. Yeah. Yeah. Shot, to be fair. Indeed, having a shot blocked, but now ball back into the area. Indeed, it's hooked away, but not far enough. And it's hooked away again. But again, not far enough. But indeed, Sanchez will get a hold of it. Yeah. Yeah. Hang on, it's Semenyo now, and see Semenyo has a shot, and it's gone well over the bar. Yeah. Yeah, so just a reminder of the team news, ladies and gentlemen, because it's Sanchez and goal for Chelsea. Both four, Reece James, Wesley Fofana, Chalobah, and Gusto, with Caicedo and Fernandez, the two playing behind Neto, Palmer, and Esteval in the midfield, with Liam Delap up front. Of course, that's team news for Chelsea. As for Bournemouth, it's Petrovic in goal. The both four of Jimenez, Hilnesi, and Truffert, with Tavernier and Scott, the two playing behind. And Brooks, Cliver, and Semenyo in the midfield, with Evan Nilsson up front. So yeah. as well on the move again, but indeed keeper just managing to keep the ball in play. Oh, what a header that was to cross into Palmer. And now here's Esteval. He has a shot blocked. But what a header that was into Cole Palmer's path. I don't know who the heck it was, but indeed that was one heck of a header. Yeah. Yep. Oh! Hang on, man. What did he mention? I think. Did he say something about Caicedo? I think he said something about it, but I can't remember. Yeah. I don't understand why. Ooh, bless me. There's Palmer again to Reece James. Now to Caicedo. I think there was something about Caicedo earlier on. I can't remember what they said. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Reece James it. Yeah. Oh, it's Palmer again. Gets fouled there just outside the area. Oh, nicely intercepted. There. Yeah. 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 Yeah, here we go. Bournemouth with a whip into the area. And it's headed away, indeed, because out of play for there. But hang on a minute. Bournemouth are indeed, of course, Bournemouth, of course, appealing against a potential penalty because they were appealing indeed for a penalty. Let's have a look at it. Oh, it does hit the arm of him there. So check is complete. Indeed, no handball. Indeed, given there. But Bournemouth have a corner here. Let's see indeed what they can do from it. Here we go, ball in. Just away, but now here's Esteval and Chelsea indeed now bursting forward with Cole Palmer. Place the ball into Pedro Neto. Bully into Delap and he heads it over the bar. Indeed, it was a great counter-attacking move from Chelsea. Indeed, it was a lovely ball. It was played into the area, but that was well worthy of a goal from Chelsea. But indeed, Liam Delap just unable indeed to head that one home. Indeed, it was a neat ball for Palmer into Neto, and unfortunately, indeed, Delap, he doesn't time his jump well, and indeed, of course, does not get, of course, he does not indeed get the proper contact on the ball, and indeed, of course, it goes out for a goal kick. Yeah. Yeah, he's had a few injury problems as Liam Delap since he came to Chelsea. Of course, indeed, he had the injury, of course, in that game against I think it was against Bournemouth. So, indeed, of course, he made his return to the Chelsea team, of course, at the weekend against Aston Villa. So, in fairness, you can give him the benefit of the doubt. He has indeed had his injury problems since coming back. Indeed, of course, he's been out with two big injuries. Of course, he had the hamstring injury and, of course, indeed, having the shoulder injury. So, indeed, of course, two injuries there. And Esteval's now down here. Esteval's now down. And now Fernandez wins it back. And now Bournemouth have a player down. And now here's Neto. What can Neto do here? Neto ball into the box. Headed away, but not too far. Because Marlo Gusto wins it for Chelsea. Now here's Esteval, who gets on the other side of it there. And Senesi puts it behind, but Esteval indeed managing to get past the Bournemouth defender, puts a great ball into the box. And indeed, Marlo Gusto plays a neat little ball. And indeed, of course, Senesi mentioned to put the ball behind, but Esteval, indeed, that was lovely work to indeed get past Tavernier. Indeed, tries to put the ball into the box for Liam Delap, indeed, to tap home, but Senesi indeed managing to deal with it there, but the ball in there. And of course, Petrovic with the hold there. And indeed, Petrovic throws it out quickly. Yeah, Chelsea, of course, win a free kick here. Delap, indeed, fouled. Yeah. Oh, that was a bit of a poor ball. Well, used downfield. Yeah. Oh, actually, that's a question. I want to know what's mine. Yeah. Oh, nice ball played into Delap and Fernandez now. Of course, keeping hold of it. It looked like it might have gone, but apparently not. Yeah. 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 Chelsea did have a corner now, and they were just coming up the hour mark, and did still goalless, but indeed still highly entertaining though this game. Yeah. Now here we go, ball in the box, away, but now Gusto. Do you imagine hold off the ball with defender? But now here's Pedro Neto. And to hold things off, but here's Palmer now with a neat run on. He just couldn't. Unfortunately, couldn't indeed do something with the ball. Indeed, he just sort of like indeed tries to take the shot, but indeed, of course, I think he might have slipped whilst doing it. I'm not really sure. Yeah. Yeah, but we go Bournemouth player down here, and a head injury, of course, there bring play indeed to a halt here. Yeah. 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 Well, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea making a change, and indeed it's a change that indeed I don't think the supporters are going to be too happy with, because Cole Palmer indeed coming off, and João Pedro indeed coming on to replace him. But I don't understand indeed that change either. I mean, Cole Palmer, he looked like he was playing so well, but indeed, I don't know why on earth Chelsea would bring on João Pedro to replace him. But anyway, hang on a minute. Esteval now. Esteval! Good, that's a good save by Petrovic. And that was a good effort from Esteval. Indeed, it was a lovely run from him as well. And indeed, of course, he has a shot, tries to go to the near post, but Petrovic indeed managing to get down low and force that behind for a Chelsea corner. Yep. Well, here we go. Chelsea with the corner again. Hang on, ball in. Shot from Gusto, which was blocked. Oh, Reece James managing to keep the ball well. Ball swung in. It's the area because it was cleared. But Bournemouth indeed are being pegged back here. Yeah. Hang on, I can't even see things. So what on earth was going on there? There's Neto. Enzo Fernandez. At the ball. The back. Oh, what say that? Indeed, Chelsea, of course, that change with Palmer indeed means that Chelsea indeed have only one more window available to them. Yeah, Chelsea been creating problems, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, indeed, of course, ladies and gentlemen, just an update indeed on the other games. Of course, Newcastle, Everton indeed still ahead. Newcastle still 2-1 up. Everton still 1-0 up against Forest. West Ham, Brighton, that's now 2-2. Arsenal, Aston Villa, indeed, that, of course, is goalless. Indeed, that will be coming up to half-time shortly. They'll probably be in second. They'll probably be in the second half. And indeed, of course, Man United Wolves, that's currently 1 apiece. Yeah, but here's Stamford Bridge, of course, it is still 2-2. Oh, Casado, I'm guessing indeed he's going to be booked then, is he? Yeah. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder that, of course, indeed, I won't be live, of course, for the Bournemouth, for that game against Man City, because indeed I'll be on my way back, indeed, from the Reading versus Stockport County game, of course, which will be taking place on Sunday. Bang on here, come Chelsea now. No, Fernandez indeed crosses blocked, and Chelsea have a throw. Indeed, I'll talk more about indeed what's coming up in the way of fixtures. I'll talk more about that, of course, coming up. Esteval, it's brilliant work from Esteval, and indeed, of course, indeed, Chelsea get in a corner. But Esteval, indeed, is causing some real problems, indeed, for Bournemouth. I mean, the defenders, indeed, they have been put under some real pressure by Esteval. I mean, indeed, Esteval is creating some real problems, indeed, for that Bournemouth defence. And indeed, Chelsea, and of course, he's managed to win a corner for Chelsea. And indeed, Reece James whipping it in again. And that's almost right into the area, actually. He's doing well, especially with that one. I admit, Sanchez indeed trying to whip in across. There. But now indeed Chelsea, of course, creating some chances. Here we go. Enzo Fernandez now plays the ball out. There. Of course, João Pedro has a shot and is blocked. Out for a Chelsea throw. Indeed, Chelsea really starting to create some consistent chances here. Really, indeed, not allowing the Bournemouth, really not allowing the Bournemouth defenders to really not allowing Bournemouth to really have a sniff of any opportunities to take the ball down towards the Chelsea goalkeeper Sanchez. Here goes Esteval again. Oh, that's lovely work from Esteval. Meant to keep it in play, but unfortunately, dude, it was tucked behind by a Bournemouth defender, and Chelsea have a corner. But Esteval, he is really he is making an absolute nuisance of himself for those Bournemouth defenders. Indeed, the Bournemouth defenders really don't know what to do with him. Here we go, ball with Din. There's a flick on header, and Petrovic indeed managed to keep that one out. But indeed, Chelsea, of course, coming close to getting their third goal and putting themselves back in front. And it looked like Petrovic was caught unawares there. But indeed, Chelsea have played the corner short. Now it's Caicedo. To Neto. Here we go. Neto now creating something there. Ball whipped in. And indeed it was headed away. But Bournemouth indeed are facing some real intense pressure here from Chelsea. It was a lovely ball whipped in. And indeed, of course, Alex Scott managing to head the ball away. But Chelsea indeed are putting Bournemouth under some real intense pressure here. Here we go. Ball whipped in. The ball was managed to be kept in play there. Here we go, ball up there. Oh, the ball hit the Bournemouth defender. And the Chelsea will get the throw. And Chelsea are taking it quickly. Indeed, now here's Esteval. What can he do? Esteval. Indeed was pulled. And Esteval and Jimenez. And indeed, it looks like something was said. To cause a little bit of a bust up there. I don't know what was said, but indeed, Esteval was clearly unhappy about something, and the referee's having a word with Jimenez there. But hang on a minute, let's just have a look here. Alright, so Esteval, indeed it goes down there. Oh, there is a bit of a tug there. Yeah, even as he gets a chunk of him, all right. There's definitely a pull there. It's a pull on the shirt, really, by Jimenez. But hang on a minute, come Bournemouth again. Bournemouth here with Semenyo. Oh, good tackle there from Chalobah. Indeed, the Chelsea defence really not allowing Bournemouth to really have a sniff of a chance, indeed. Yeah, the Chelsea defence really not allowing Bournemouth a sniff of any real chances, of course, to create. Yeah, and indeed, of course, when 2025 turns 2026. Indeed, of course, that will be within the next 24 hours come midnight. we'll have 24 hours to go until 2025 turns 2026. And also it'll be 24 hours before the January transfer window opens and all. So be interesting to see what business indeed will be completed in the January transfer window. It'll be interesting to see what business indeed will be concluded by, of course, Chelsea and the other Premier League clubs. And that was a neat little ball into Fernandez here. He was a little bit 50-50 onwards there. Nicely down there from Chelsea, winning the ball back. Now it's Fernandez. Into Esteval, what can he do? Val managing to keep the ball. Yeah, Chelsea have really Chelsea are really putting the pressure on, frustrating, of course, the Bournemouth defence, that is for sure. I mean, Chelsea, indeed, you look at the stats here, Bournemouth have only had 2 shots and 2 touches really inside the opposition box. And Jimenez, indeed, I don't know what on earth Jimenez was thinking there. I know Sanchez was off his line, but indeed that exactly didn't look like a confidence. That really didn't look like a good shot there. But now here comes João Pedro. Indeed, he plays the ball to Delap, but of course the Bournemouth defender managing to get there, and indeed forces the ball out of play for a corner kick. We've got 14 minutes plus stoppage time of this one to go. But now here's Pedro Neto, indeed, with a Chelsea corner. What can come of this? We're really knocking at the door here. Indeed, it wouldn't be surprised me if Chelsea get the next goal. The ball whipped in, but now here's Neto again. The ball's come back to him. But ball in there. Hang on a minute. Stay hand ball in there. And then Fernandez. Oh, and he has a shot over the bar. And Chelsea, indeed, of course, indeed, constantly knocking at the door. But indeed, there was an appeal of a handball in there. Let's have a look here. Indeed, was there a handball in there? I'm not sure. I didn't have a look at closer up. I need to have a closer look. Yeah. Well, indeed, of course, it looks like Bournemouth are making a change, and it looks like, indeed, it'll be their first change of the game. Of course, indeed, it'll be Harry Brooks that indeed makes way. No, it's David Brooks, sorry. Indeed, David Brooks, of course, making a way for Adley. Of course, this match, indeed, is still well open. Because it's really open, but Chelsea indeed have started to turn up the pressure little by little, of course, indeed in this game. So, yeah, Chelsea have really turned up the pressure on Bournemouth in this second half. They really started to turn it up little by little, really, this. Of course, indeed, here we go. Bournemouth, indeed, coming forward now. Here's Hadley, indeed, the substitute. But indeed, of course, the ball blasted away by Wesley Fofana out for a Chelsea throw. Out for a Bournemouth throw. The referee, indeed. A little bit of something there. But Chelsea, indeed, have conceded at least 4 goals from throw-ins. And indeed, of course, they conceded 1 earlier on tonight. Of course, indeed, it was Bournemouth's equaliser, of course, which came from a Bournemouth throw, actually. So indeed, Chelsea will be looking to avoid that, and indeed they have done. But they've conceded a corner kick. So indeed, it is, of course, there's a Bournemouth corner. Indeed, we have not got long of this game to go. Indeed, we're just to enter the final 10 minutes of this game. Here we go, ball in the box, and Chelsea did get it away, and Chelsea can start the counter-attack here. Here's Esteval. Indeed, the ball is still there, and now it's a race between Esteval and Jimenez, and Esteval won that battle, well and truly, and João Pedro, tried to cross it in, but indeed, I don't know why he didn't have the shot. But indeed, the ball's still alive. Here's Pedro Neto. Whenever Chelsea going to play this? Pedro Neto, would he have a shot? Maybe not. We'll play now wide. All swept in, and the ball's headed over by João Pedro. But I don't know why he just didn't have the shot in the first place. But Esteval, indeed, of course, he started the counter-attack, and indeed he managed to, of course, get there using his pace to indeed hold off Jimenez. Indeed, he managed to use his pace to get ahead of Jimenez, and then, of course, managed to hold him off. But indeed, Bournemouth making another change, by the way, indeed. Of course, Evan Nilsson coming off, and Enes Ünal, indeed, of course, coming on to replace him. And just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we've got some big games, of course, coming up, indeed, after this one. Yeah, indeed, there are some big games for Chelsea coming up, indeed, after this game, of course, in the new year. Of course, indeed, we've got Manchester City, of course, coming up on the 4th of January. Then we got Fulham. So yeah, and then of course we have the FA Cup game against Charlton before, and then straight after that one, of course, we have indeed the League Cup semi-final game against Arsenal. Before, indeed, of course, we then, ladies and gentlemen, of course, have 3 games against Brentford, of course, in the Premier League, Paphos in the Champions League, and Crystal Palace. Before we then, of course, close out the month against Napoli in the Champions League. Of course, that'll finish the league stage. That, of course, will finish the league stage of the Champions League. We don't know if we'll indeed get through, of course, if we'll be in the top 8, or indeed we'll get the playoffs as well. Before we then indeed finish January with indeed that 5:30 kickoff against West Ham. By the way, indeed, Tavernier, indeed, he just picked up a yellow card, by the way, of course. Well, hopefully, indeed, we'll at least get a goal, indeed, in these next few minutes. Yeah. Yeah. That's the foul there. Here's Fernandez. Caicedo whips the ball in. Oh, I got a minute. The fans indeed appealing for a handball there. Did it look like there might have been a bit of a mix-up? Did Chelsea do very well to keep the ball? Indeed, we've still got 5 minutes plus stoppage time, indeed, to find a late goal. Can Chelsea find a late winner? Yeah, but indeed we know Chelsea to nick it late before. Wait a minute, I have to do something here, guys. Oh, just really getting hit that. Yeah, he has. He hasn't been great. I think it'd be better if we just kept Cole Palmer on the pitch. At least we would have created, at least Cole Palmer, he would have at least been able to really test the Bournemouth keeper a lot more in this game. Oh, but that's nearly a little bit of play. And Pedro Neto, indeed, of course, trying to whip the ball in. And Chelsea winning a throw. Senesi, indeed, with the change there. And Chelsea have just made, indeed, another change, by the way. Andre Santos, indeed, coming on to replace Liam Delap. So, indeed, Santos is on for these final 3+ minutes, depending on how many minutes, indeed, we'll get in the way of stoppage time, of course, in this game. Oh, but what on earth was that? Slip there, of course. Big moment, but here we go. Chelsea coming forward again. Here's Pedro Neto. Reece James. Reece James with the ball whipped in, cleared away. Malagusto. And here's Esteval. Indeed, just shrugged off there. But now the ball's pinged up. Pinged up. And Chelsea indeed winning the ball back in quite easy fashion there. Didn't really look like it was going to be quite difficult to indeed win that ball back. Caicedo is Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez indeed whips that ball over to Neto. Oh, that was a really heavy touch. Oh, good grief. Ambitious, all right. I mean, it was a good idea, but indeed, unfortunately, if you're Enzo Maresca, though, ladies and gentlemen, indeed you've got to be thinking, where on earth do you go from here? Right, I'm here, ball up. So 4 minutes indeed, of course. We understand this what's going to be added on. Oh, that's a lovely tackle from Gusto. And Chelsea indeed now have the ball. Esteval. Can Chelsea indeed find a little bit of magic in these final few minutes? But that's a great first touch, that, from Reece James. Indeed, Reece James, he knew Semenyo if he was on him. But here we go. Chelsea indeed there. And Santos indeed tried to play the ball back to Santos. But indeed, of course, unfortunately, things not going well. Yeah, Aston Villa just actually conceded there. And there we go. 4 minutes indeed added on at the end of this second half. Can Chelsea find a winner? A ball played in the penalty area. Indeed, it's playing off. Fernandez turns. Now what can Chelsea do with this? Chelsea play off. Now here's Esteval. He goes down there. And referee really not interested in that moment. There you go, played in there. And here comes Bournemouth. Oh! Oh my God, header to now. Indeed, very, very close moment. A very, very close opportunity to win the game for Bournemouth in stoppage time. It was a ball played into the area, and it's Adley indeed who plays it back into Enes Ünal. And indeed, of course, imagine the play it back, and you think Ünal indeed would test the keeper, but indeed, of course, it just going over the bar. But indeed, Chelsea fans still know how close that was. Indeed, to Bournemouth taking all 3 points here. But Chelsea indeed making another change. And it's Esteval indeed coming off. Also, Adam Smith's just come on for Justin Kluivert for Bournemouth. And Esteval indeed coming off. But Esteval, he's had a great game, he has. And Chelsea indeed bringing on. I'm not sure indeed who it was that came on indeed to replace Esteval. Jamie Gittins has come on to replace him. Yeah, can Chelsea nick it late? Can Chelsea nick it late? Indeed, we just got 1 and a bit minutes left. Of course, of this game, not got long at all. And now here's Gittins on the ball here. Gittins, ball played in, or it's punched away. And now Caicedo, now Reece James, ball played in, headed away. Still there, but it's cleared away. But now here's Sanchez, indeed, who plays it back. Indeed, Chelsea, indeed, maybe one final chance. Now Enzo Fernandez plays the ball over to Gittins. What can Chelsea do here in these final few moments? This game. Gittins, ball in there, it's blocked. And indeed, Chelsea have a final corner. Chelsea have a corner here. This will probably be the last action of this game. Indeed, we've had the 4 minutes. This will probably be the final chance, although indeed there have been a couple of subs, so I think there'll probably be another minute added on for those substitutes there. Oh, that's away, and it's now there. Hang on, it's still in the box there. Chelsea still have it. And Petrovic closes it away for another Chelsea corner. Petrovic palming it away, but Chelsea have indeed an opportunity to nick it. Here we go. Ball played in. It's headed over the bar. And indeed, of course, it's down there. And of course, there we go. There goes the full-time whistle. Full-time whistle has gone. And it's a point for both Chelsea and for Bournemouth. Indeed, Bournemouth took the lead through David Brooks. And then, of course, Chelsea equalised from a Cole Palmer penalty after Esteval went down in the area. Of course, with VAR, of course, indeed giving Chelsea a penalty. But then, of course, Enzo Fernandez gave Chelsea the lead with a fabulous strike. But then Justin Cliver, indeed, of course, got Bournemouth level again. And indeed, of course, it finished 2-2. But, yeah. But indeed, Chelsea kept on knocking on the door. But indeed, they were unable. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Of course, indeed, Chelsea kept on knocking at the door, but indeed they were unable to break down the Bournemouth defence. Unable to break down the Bournemouth defence. And, of course, for Chelsea, it's now one win. It's now one win in 7 games. Yes, one win in their last 7 games. But as for Bournemouth, indeed, they're winless in their last 10 games. Indeed, the worst run of form they've had under Andres Areola. And indeed, of course, Semenyo, indeed, is over with the fans now. Of course, indeed, for Semenyo, could this indeed be a goodbye? Indeed, of course, to its fans, of course, indeed, Man City, indeed, closing in on a move for Semenyo. Indeed, of course, Bournemouth closing in on, indeed, Man City closing in on that £65 million move. Of course, that indeed was his release cost, £65 million for Semenyo. Indeed, the question is, ladies and gentlemen, could this game indeed be his final game in a Bournemouth shirt? Indeed, of course, the Bournemouth players indeed and the fans will be hoping not. But indeed, that looks like it is the case. And of course, Semenyo indeed signed, and indeed, of course, Bournemouth signed. Of course, indeed, Semenyo's Bournemouth adventure potentially indeed being signed off, indeed, with this 2-2 draw. Yeah. But anyway, so there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Chelsea indeed drawing 2-2 with Bournemouth there. So, indeed, not the result indeed we would have been looking for. Not the result we would have been looking for at all, but really, of course, really we could have done indeed better with some of the opportunities we had, really. And indeed, of course, bringing Cole Palmer off, I mean, that just didn't make sense. I mean, yes, I know he's got his injury problems, But indeed, the more minutes he has on the pitch, indeed, really just has to be better, indeed, for Palmer, I think, really. And I think, indeed, we really could have needed him on that pitch, really. Because, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, because just things really, it just didn't look like, indeed, that substitution made sense at any point, really. It really didn't make any sense at all. Didn't make any sense, that substitution. And, well, indeed, of course, the game indeed has ended, of course, 2-2 because of that substitution. Of course, indeed. And Palmer indeed did get a goal tonight, because he did get a goal from the penalty spot. Of course, tonight he did get a goal from the penalty spot, but indeed he felt like, actually, indeed he felt like he probably could have done so much more. And also, indeed, really, of course, if you're thinking about it, really, if you're really thinking about it, of course, in that way, you really think about it, of course, really, that Palmer, I feel like, indeed, maybe, I feel like if he stayed on the pitch, indeed, things could have been better. Maybe Chelsea could have gotten that third goal and won this game. So, yeah. So indeed, of course, a whole load of things really could have been so much different in this game. So, yeah, really, really crazy stuff in this game, guys. Yeah. But anyway, so a point's a point, ladies and gentlemen, because we finished the year off with a 2-2 draw. Of course, finished the game with a 2-2 draw. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, indeed that is it for 2025. Of course, what a crazy year it has been. Of course, indeed, really crazy year. Of course, it has been. Indeed, we have got a lot of stuff. We've had a lot of stuff indeed happen here on the channel. And of course, indeed, we've got a lot of things coming your way, of course, here in 2026, ladies and gentlemen, because we have got so much indeed coming up here on the channel. Indeed, there's going to be so much going on. So indeed, please do make sure indeed you stay with us indeed here, of course, on the channel. Please do make sure, of course, if you enjoyed the stream, please do make sure, of course, to like the stream and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single thing that will happen indeed in 2026. So yeah, please do make sure, of course, you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, that is it from me. Of course, I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, I think, indeed, I'll be back on the channel, probably, indeed, I think, indeed, I might be live again on the 7th of January. Yeah, I'll be back, indeed, on the 7th of January, of course, for the Premier League fixture between Fulham and Chelsea, because I won't be live, indeed, this upcoming Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. I won't be live on Sunday the 4th. Because, of course, my local team, Reading, of course, are in action on the 4th as well. So they're in action, of course, on the 4th of January. Yeah, they're in action on the 4th of January against against Stockport County. So, yeah, indeed, so I'll be live so I will, of course, be at that game. Ooh, bless me there, guys. Weird. But anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, I will, of course, be at that game, of course, between Manchester City. No, not Manchester City and Chelsea. I meant between Reading and Stockport County. So I won't be live for the Manchester City-Chelsea game. But I will indeed, ladies and gentlemen, let me try that again. Yeah, I will, ladies and gentlemen, I will be live, of course, on the 7th of January. I'll be live on the 7th of January, of course, for the Fulham versus Chelsea Premier League fixture. Of course, I'll be live for that. And then, of course, on Saturday, of course, I will also, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I will also be live. I think I'll be live anyway. I'm not sure about that game, of course, between Charlton and Chelsea, whether indeed, of course, I'll get tickets for that one, of course, or not. Indeed, between that one against Charlton, between Charlton and Chelsea, whether I'll go to the game or whether I'll be live on the channel, I really don't know. But yeah, anyway, of course, a lot of things are going to be happening on the channel in 2026. Of course, indeed, we've still got days to go until, indeed, that one between Chelsea and Charlton, of course, between the Charlton and Chelsea in the FA Cup. So we've still got a long time to go until that one. So, yeah, still quite a lot of things really need to be discussed, of course, indeed, in regards to certain other things indeed happening and all that. So, yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, of course, that's it from me. And that is it for 2025. Of course, I hope you have indeed enjoyed the year, of course, with me. Indeed, I'll be back, of course, for 2026. And ladies and gentlemen, I might be live on New Year's Day. I'm not sure if I'll be live on New Year's Day, of course, for the Reading versus Burton Albion game. I'm not sure if I'll be live for that one. If I am, of course, I'll see you guys then. But if I'm not, of course, I'll see you guys indeed back here on the channel for the Fulham versus Chelsea game on Wednesday, January the 7th. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, because that is it from me for 2025. I hope you indeed, of course, have enjoyed, of course, the stream. Please do, of course, like the stream if you have enjoyed it. And also, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single thing that indeed comes out here on the channel during 2026. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, because that's it for me. Of course, I'll see you guys in the new year. This is Football Fan 148 signing off. Indeed, it's ended pointless. Indeed, at Stamford. No, it's ended indeed at Stamford Bridge. Indeed, it's a point gained for Chelsea, but unfortunately, they've been unable to move back into the top four of the Premier League. It's finished here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2. Chelsea end the year, indeed, with a 2-2 draw against Bournemouth. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'll see you all in 2026. 2025, it's been a blast. But indeed, guys, of course, I'll see you all again